Oh my gosh, this is amazing, and I just want to say you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts. Max Caster, your future AEW champion. Fucking man. Yeah.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage, smackdown. Hold the title, this is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling with Savage. We're here live, and we're with Gilch, we're with Jay, and today we got a special guest. This is Thomas Babiak from Wrestling. No, he's not from Wrestling with Savage. Maybe one day he'll be with Wrestling with Savage. We're trying to get him on the crew, but he's from Barbells and Body Slams. We're going to check out a quick video right now so you can see what he's all about, and then he's going to break it down for us. We're going to ask him some questions, and then, of course, we're going to get into AEW Dynamite coming up right after this. Let's see the video.
Barbells and Body Slams, I have a unique approach to not only help you become inspired from some of your favorite memories and characters in the past and present in professional wrestling, but to actually help you take action and become the best version of yourself. I'll take you behind the scenes with personal interviews with some of your favorite wrestlers to help you learn how they overcome their own obstacles and stay motivated. I can't wait to share with you some fun and exciting stuff. Barbells and Body Slams will help you, I believe, climb to the top rope of your fitness success.
Shane Hurricane Helms, and you're watching Barbell and Body Slams. And if not, what's up with that?
Little inspiration like that where there's hope, and there always is. There's always, we have to always worry about mental health. Life is hard, but I always say life is just like wrestling. You're going to get knocked down, but you have to get up, just like you.
The thing is, we're going to take fitness training and take it to a whole other level. So if you're stuck in a rut, or if you want to be motivated and get in shape like John Cena or the swagger of The Rock. This is Barbells and Body Slams.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you follow Barbells and Body Slams. I believe they're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, correct?
Correct.
All right, so Tom, let us, the floor is yours. Barbells and Body Slams, what's it about? What do you do? Break it down for us.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate being here, and hopefully I'll be on a couple more episodes, breaking a couple things down with you guys, and just, enjoying the party. So for the audience that's out there, my name's Tom Babiak. Besides being an educator in the crazy world of teaching for the last 20 years, I've been in the fitness industry for about 22 years of that. Basically, I take a unique approach to inspirational stories in pro wrestling storylines. For example, Daniel Bryan's comeback way back when he came back from his neck injury. I take inspirational storylines like that, pro wrestling interviews to help inspire wrestling fans out there like all of us, and all of you out there, along with pro wrestlers themselves. My tagline is drop kick your obstacles and climb to the top rope of your fitness success. So my goal is to inspire others out there to become basically the best version of yourself, to take the pro wrestling storylines, mesh it into real life, because as Tommy Dreamer says, I'm busted open. Pro wrestling mimics life, and sometimes we get knocked down, we got to get brought back up, and I hope to do that through fitness, inspiration, and pro wrestling.
That sounds awesome. Speaking of kicking out in Tommy Dreamer, I did see your interview on YouTube with Tommy Dreamer, and I have to give you props. It was fantastic. I watched the entire thing, and not just because, I saw it because of your page. I wanted to see it because I see Tommy Dreamer. I'm genuinely interested in him. I see you. I just met you, so I'm like, let's see what this is about, and you killed it. Fantastic interview. Excellent questions, and I love the way that you took your time to really let him answer them. And then he answered them genuinely, with passion, with honesty, and with respect. He looked you right in the eyes as he was telling you all these different answers, and you absolutely fucking killed it. You looked a little nervous for the first 5-10 seconds, but then you went right into your normal, thing, your routine, like you got comfortable with him, and that was it. And you got a hell of an interview out of that, and that thing should have a couple of 100,000 views, to be honest with you. It shouldn't, maybe even a million. That's my opinion. Great job with that interview. Everybody should go watch it on his YouTube page, Barbells and Body Slams. So let me ask you a quick question, and then I'm going to let Jay and Gilch, maybe I got some questions for you. What is the most inspirational story for you out there in the history of inspiration for wrestling, maybe? I know you mentioned Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan at the time, probably. What is it for you? Is it that one?
To be honest with you, it's probably what got me started. Actually, there's two things. One is the one that got this all started. Real quick, it was when, as you all remember, when Dave Meltzer pretty much challenged the Bucks and Cody out there that they couldn't sell out the arena for All Out, and they kind of bet on themselves. And it's kind of one of the things I do as a teacher as well, of telling my students, to not give up that growth mindset that we talk about. It was really the story of the Bucks betting on themselves. They easily could have made millions going to WWE or continuing with Ring of Honor at the time, but they decided to literally go all in and all that kind of stuff. And they made it happen. And I think so many wrestling fans out there live vicariously, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, through the storylines, through characters, to really do all those things that they see their real life superheroes doing. So that was probably my biggest thing. And I even wrote a letter to Cody about it. I saw him at, I believe it was one of the Icons of Wrestling. I told him how he was an inspiration for my show. Shook my hand on it, appreciated it. He seemed to be pretty genuine, so I appreciated that. That was one, and Daniel Bryan's one. Proves that you're never down, like they say with Rocky Balboa. You're not down until you stay down. And Daniel Bryan came back, told a great story in the ring, coming back from his neck injury, similar to Edge, and never quit. And now he's flourishing in AEW in so many ways, and doing it his way. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And you've been doing this fitness thing for how long right now? This is your whole life? I've been doing it for about 22 years. I'm 45. My biggest thing, my inspiration that actually got me into it is that when I was 19 years old, my father died of a heart attack. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's all good. I'd be lying to you if I told you it wasn't to look good, it looked better. That's obviously a thing. I want to feel like I'm 25, acting like I'm probably 15 at times. But that won't last forever. But I feel good when I do it. I try and inspire my daughters to do it. I try and get my wife to do it. Try and get my students to do it. And like I said, through this show, I'm just trying to inspire others that look up to so many professional wrestlers out there as a source of inspiration to continue doing their own journey. And if I can help in this way with this unique approach, it's not too many people that combine fitness and pro wrestling out there. So I'm trying to combine that niche together and hopefully inspire others that are either inspiring wrestlers, training wrestlers, or fans like ourselves. All right, Jay, you got some questions for Thomas?
Yeah, I got some questions. Thomas, I love this part here. Drop kick your obstacles and climb to the top of fitness success. Tell me, how did you manage to just come in? Was that just quick off the top of your head, or that just took some time to come? Because I love it. I think it's perfect. It's a great statement of what you're talking about and paying it forward, especially to your students. So was that just automatic to you? Just came right off the top of your head, or that just took some time to come up with? Yeah, I appreciate that, Jay. I kind of find that if I overthink, which for me at times I definitely do, I like to consider myself a creative person. But when I overthink on things, it kind of has paralysis. It kind of holds me back. I do my best thinking sometimes when I got my pre-workout in or my workouts, and things just happen to flow. And years ago, when I started this, it just kind of came to me, and it just, it kind of just made sense. Drop and kick your obstacles. I actually have not a tagline. In my interviews, we all have heard of the false finish, and it's so big and prevalent nowadays. When they hook in the audience and your favorite guy, whoever it may be, kicks out at the last second. And one of my last interview questions that I have for wrestlers, like I had for Tommy Dreamer, that I had for Robert Stone, who's in NXT, Mr. Stone, better known as, was, what was your false finish? So besides my tagline for the show,
one of my final interview questions is, what was your false finish? What was it that you were down and out, and everybody thought you were down, but at the last second, before the 3 count, you kicked out and you came back and you fought back? And that also, honest to God, it came to me, and I was like, you know what? It's a false finish. People think they're down and out, but then they get the resurgence, they get the motivation, the inspiration to come back. And that's one of my questions I ask in interviews. And I don't want to share too much out there. I don't want to get a trademark somehow, but I think it's a unique and fun question, especially tying in with all this. So honestly, it came to me, and it just tied in perfectly, because people want to climb to that ladder of success, and in this case, it's the top rope.
Love it.
And what got you into wrestling? I see you got a great collection behind you. What got you into wrestling?
We got a pretty deep collection back here.
Yeah, let's see what you got there. I see Mean Gene over there, I believe.
Yeah, we got the 80s wrestlers, the LJN, all the ones there. It's the first version of them, I guess, when he first came out. We got my AEW characters here. We got the Tribal Chief, at least for right now.
Are any of those your originals, or is those like recent buys?
The originals.
Like, I'm talking about like when you were like 6 years old, 7 years old. Do you have any of the toys for when you were a kid? I wish I did, bro.
Me too.
The WWE ones when I was a kid, right here. If you guys could see those.
Nice.
Those
Awesome.
ones right there, and then I've been doing it for a while. Is the AWA figures.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh,
Did you see that new line that's coming out that Dave's been talking about with Bruiser Brody, PowerhouseWrestling.com?
No, I haven't. But
So it's Bruiser Brody, Kevin Von Erich, Greg Vanya, a couple of other old school guys. It's like 6 figures. They're like a little pricey. They're like $45 each. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get that. I think you would love the Bruiser Brody one.
Yeah, I think
I'm a big.
Cool.
Gilch, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Gilch, whenever you're ready, if you got any questions for him too, bro.
Before I even ask, I gotta. As these guys know, I just started building a room. I've never been a big memorabilia guy, and I seem to not be able to build stuff like with tempo. I just have to fucking get everything. So looking behind you right now, like I'm putting numbers in my head, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be pretty pricey right away. But that's a very cool room, bro. And
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's funny not counting the little ones back in the day, like the $1 Million Man and figures that used to like the movable arm and stuff.
Big Boss Man.
Yeah, I counted yesterday. I have about 100. Compared to Matt Cardona, it's nothing. But and maybe even to Savage there from his collection. But I have about 112.
Yeah, you're right up there with me. I think I'm at like 120 or something, 130. I don't know. But that's open figures. Closed, I have much more. But
yeah, no, I don't have. I kind of have more. The only one that I have closed is Ric Flair. Maybe someday I'll get that signed.
I'm a nerd for the closed ones. I recently, since I started collecting, it's like a dream. I'm like, I want to get more autographs of all these guys that are killing it right now in the ring. Well, some of them are killing it. And we're gonna find out exactly who was killing it tonight on AEW. We're gonna get right into AEW as soon as we're back right here on Wrestling with Savage. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. And Gilch or Jay, if you have any other questions before we get into AEW, please do it. And we'll talk more with Thomas, and we're going to find out more about barbells and body slams. And then also on the show tonight, we're going to get into fitness itself. Who is the most fit wrestler right now in the game? Who is the most fit wrestler of all time? Actually, you know what? Why don't we get into that right away? So while we're on this break, we're going to go to Thomas first. Thomas, let us know when we get back. Who's the best wrestler of all time as far as fitness goes? Woman, female, and then who's the best in the game today, right now? Stick with us, find out who that is as soon as we're back right here on Wrestling with Savage.
Amazing, and I just want to say you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts. Max Caster, your future AEW champion. Fucking man. Yeah.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live by the champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
I have a unique barbells and body slams. I have a unique approach to not only help you become inspired from some of your favorite memories and characters in the past and present in professional wrestling, but to actually help you take action and become the best version of yourself. I'll take you behind the scenes with personal interviews with some of your favorite wrestlers to help you learn how they overcome their own obstacles and stay motivated. I can't wait to share with you some fun and exciting stuff. Barbells and body slams will help you, I believe, climb to the top rope of your fitness success.
Shane Hurricane Helms, and you're watching Barbell and Body Slams. And if not, what's up with that?
Little inspiration like that where there's hope, and there always is. There's always, we have to always worry about mental health. Life is hard, but I always say life is just like wrestling. You're going to get knocked down, but you have to get up, just like you.
The thing is, we're going to take fitness training and take it to a whole other level. So if you're stuck in a rut, or if you want to be motivated and get in shape like John Cena with a swagger of The Rock. This is Barbells and Body Slams.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back on Wrestling with Savage. We're still here with Thomas. Barbells and Body Slams. You saw the commercial yet again. Make sure you're following them on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. I think he's got a TikTok. If he doesn't have a Twitch, he should make a Twitch because we're going to get him on Twitch. We're going to get Barbells and Body Slams. We're going to get it out there. It's a great message. It's a great concept. And I think it's a fantastic idea. And we got to get more wrestlers on board with this right now who need to be in ring shape. And, speaking of ring shape, let's go straight to Thomas. Who is it, man? Who's the greatest of all time as far as fitness goes? And then who's the best in the game today? Or, I think you mentioned top 10, right?
Yeah, I got about 7 or 8 or so, but I could do a Dave LaGreca top 10. Hopefully Bully Ray won't rip me apart as much as he does Dave, which is always good TV, good show. I got one of my ones here is Mad Cat Moss. I think he's really been coming up in his own in the last 2 years or so, give or take, since he's break away from Corbin. Either way, physique-wise, Mad Cat Moss puts in no time in the gym, does his thing, and he's always had a good physique, even in NXT, but doing great there. Although he's not around right now, but hopefully maybe around WrestleMania time, because I think he was going to get a big push, to be honest with you, was Boogs, the one who worked with Nakamura. Jacked and, big ox and really strong. He's probably been number 9 there. Finn Balor walking around 5% body fat year round. I wish I could be doing that, because that sure as hell isn't happening. But he's walking around looking lean the whole time. Brian Cage, not out there as much as people may think, but walking around, big transformations over the last several years. Doing amazing things. Who else do we got here? We got. I'm going to save that one for later on because I think it's a test to people's age. We're going. Bobby Lashley has got to be my top 3. I mean, the guy is hitting in his 40s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's looking like he was when he was ECW champ. He's looking amazing.
Maybe even better.
Yeah, even better. And like LaGreca had when he interviewed him, he's just a great dude, and very humble and just puts in the work. I know he was on Sheamus's one with Celtic Warrior, so I look forward to that. Matt Riddle, I'm gonna go a little conditioning and that with Matt Riddle looking always in great shape. Ziggler, Chad Gable, if you ever catch him and Otis working out on social media, strong as an ox, awesome. And Ricochet, conditioning-wise, looking lean all the time. And I'm going to go, honestly, the biggest one is, for his age, is going to be Mr. Daddy Ass himself, which is going to be Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
When I'm 58 years old, I'm 5'6" if I'm lucky. Yeah.
He puts the guys to shame.
He's looking like what a wrestler in my mind should look like, and he
looks like he should have an AEW World Championship run, if you want to be honest about it. I mean,
Right.
you talk about that movie, The Wrestler. Who's living that more than Billy Gunn right now? And then he gets to watch his own sons too wrestle.
He's looking amazing.
Look at him tonight. Tonight on AEW Dynamite, he has full control of the crowd, and you have FTR in the ring.
Yeah.
That's like wild. That's wild. If you would have told me that like 3 years ago, I'd be like, that would never happen.
I'm sending photos of him to friends of mine who are like casual Attitude Era, but they don't really watch anymore. And they're like, dude, he was never this big. He looks incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. How about all time? Do you have somebody for all time? Like best body all time WWE? Not including anybody active today, you know? Like the GOAT. Who's got the GOAT body all time? WWE, male or female?
You know what? I'm gonna change mine. And I unfortunately I was a little biased. As a kid, I used to love being him. Not the most fan favorite as far as the wrestling goes, but I'm not sure what that was. But I'm going with originally gonna pick the Ultimate Warrior because he was the 80s.
I know who you're gonna pick. I have a feeling I know who you're gonna pick.
I'm gonna go with this one.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
That's it. I was attempting Rod Robert Jr.'s entrance, but my hands just went all over the place.
I was wondering. I couldn't sure what you were doing. I would make sure medically you're okay over there. I didn't want to insult you or anything, but it just popped in my head. I'm like, how could I be an idiot and not think of Rick Rude? I mean, he wasn't the biggest, but he was there. Like even in his WCCW days, if you remember, world class.
Did you ever hear the story about him and Ultimate Warrior?
I'm pretty sure they hated each other. He hated him.
Oh no, I got a story for you if you'd like to hear it. A real one.
Sure. Doesn't take too much fans' time. Absolutely.
Nah, not at all. Basically, Rick Rude beat the shit out of him in the back of the locker room, had him over his knee, and he said, if you don't cut with the bullshit, I'm gonna fuck you up. And this was witnessed by guys like Jimmy Snuka, Hogan, Macho Man. Like, he put Warrior in his fucking place in front of a lot of dudes. And that's real. Rick Rude was a bad motherfucker. That's the bottom line of this.
Even when he was in ECW for a short period of time, the things he did, I've seen videos like with Francine and stuff out there. Like when obviously you can get away with it back then, but like just stuff that you'd be arrested for and anywhere nowadays or even on TV it'd be censored. But on an opposite note, yeah, I heard he was. Besides Haku, I heard he was a bad dude.
Yeah, because that Warrior was just pissing him off because like, he's trying to put on a nice match and Warrior's just, doing fucking Warrior shit. Like, this guy's crazy. Gorilla press this, that, then it's over. Oh, good times though. Jay, Gilch, do you guys have different answers or is he on point with who's the go-to fitness right now?
So, I see the collection. So, who got you into wrestling? Was it, you say Warrior? Was it Rick Rude that you just saw on TV one day and you said, you know what? I love this. This is what I want to watch. This is what I may want to do.
I keep on having this conversation in my head, and I always keep on thinking, where does it come from? Where does it come from? And I remember seeing WrestleMania 2, and of course you always see WrestleMania 1, but I never watched it first at that time. I was born in '77, so I was definitely a little too young to remember that young. It was probably around WrestleMania 3, but it was prior to one of the greatest, if not the greatest match of all time, Savage versus Steamboat, in my opinion. When Macho Man draped Steamboat's throat over the railing, hit him with the bell several months before WrestleMania, and all of a sudden I see Ricky Steamboat going like that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a man enough to admit it, I was crying. The 9-year-old in me at the time was crying because it was just before '87, I think late '86. I was crying. My brother, who's 10 years older than me, to this day, he'll laugh if he ever sees this. He goes, it's fake, right? And I'm like, whatever the case was. And he just wanted to destroy me with it. And I see his throat going, they broke his larynx. And that was probably that I remember. And another thing that stands out to hopefully answer your question is when Honky Tonk Man, Saturday night's main event, to Macho Man goes with his face, going like that, whatever, and takes him with the guitar and hits him over. I was all excited in front of the TV, and my old man was like, calm down, and those
You're turning into a wrestling fan.
Oh man, no. He was trying to tell me to calm down because he didn't give a care as much.
Yeah, because you wanted to run wild.
Oh my God,
I wanted to have a good time. Yeah,
I was like I was going crazy. Like, I was like popping me. For
Sure,
that.
you and your brother were probably doing wrestling moves on each other at one point.
We did each other. I
backyard wrestling.
Onto my bed and broke it a few times. Or I had the microphone in my hand as a kid.
Nice.
And I'd be my version of Howard Finkel.
Nice.
And my old man had knocked on the wall because he'd work at midnight. And he'd be like, shut the hell up in there. I'm going, whatever. And I couldn't do Howard Finkel, but I'd be playing with my figures right there. And so that if that answers your question, that's pretty much probably what got into it.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. My childhood's filled with memories of getting beat by my mother because I wouldn't stop ripping all my T-shirts like I was Hulk fucking Hogan. But Gilch, you got any questions? Or are we going into Dynamite, man?
I think it was set. I think Jay,
we can always
Jay,
get a little more questions.
Jay hit on my question.
Jay, you got one more?
Yeah.
Out of all the interviews, because I find the most interesting interview you did is probably Renee Michelle, right? For the Mae Young Classic. I was a fan of her. Nobody really picked her up on the radar, but I always haven't. What I found interesting about that interview is that she wasn't really into wrestling. Who would you say out of all the people you interview, out of all of them, who is the most interesting you find? And who is probably the most inspiring?
It's got to be Tommy Dreamer, right?
Tommy Dreamer, because he talked about real life.
That interview was crazy good.
The referee Ryan, he does a lot of independent ones. He's on ECW and stuff. He was a referee for Tommy Dreamer when he announced at Hardcore, and he does other ones also. If you look up Ref Ryan on social media, I'm sure you'll find him. Really great dude. He was inspired by Tommy Dreamer. He wanted to be a wrestler, and he was battling cancer, and he beat cancer.
Wow.
And in the interview, we talk about, I actually interviewed Ref Ryan also, if you look up, or I have some of the clips. And Tommy Dreamer also helped people that were thinking about killing themselves, where people called up to him and reached out and said, listen, I was thinking about killing myself. And I just shut up and listened. I could listen to Tommy Dreamer for hours. The stories, it's like story time with Tommy Dreamer. We know this when we listen to Busted Open on Wednesdays and Mondays. He could talk all day, and it's like I'm sitting there like a kindergartner. Talk to me some more, educate me. And that was a really good one. And I know this sounds a little crazy because there could be others, but the one I really enjoyed that was a really cool guy. And he actually responded because his mom recently passed away, was Robert Stone. I interviewed him in Woodbridge, New Jersey, in a gymnasium. I reached out to him. We hooked up about an hour before the show, Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. I sat with him and I talked to him about 45 minutes. It was a time when he was coming out with NBC's The Rock's, not Ninja, whatever. Rock. I'm sorry?
Was it Young Rock or?
No, not Young Rock. He was doing his athletic show. I forget what it is.
I know what you mean.
He was doing
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I talked to him about being on that and potentially good. That was right before he was going up into NXT and stuff. And he was just a really cool guy. Very professional, but very cool, laid back. Or like, it just flew. The interview was like I was just talking to a guy.
It's so natural.
Yeah, it was very natural. He was very cool. I think that one was good. I've actually spoken to Al Snow.
Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, he's a good dude.
I have to upload that one. We talked about the title. We talked about the 24/7 title. How he had college. His wrestling is college accredited to actually be a professional wrestler and stuff. He was a very cool dude. Reached out and he was very kind. Some people are busy and stuff, and he was kind enough to respond and gave me about an hour and a half of his time. And that was on video stuff.
Nice.
I would say honestly the most laid back one was Robert Stone, like we were just talking like we are right now. And Renee Michelle was a really cool woman. She's the first one female ever.
Certainly was. Enjoyed it.
She was
very shocked. Very shocked at what she had to say. Just not going. I'm gonna
watch that next.
A wrestling fan. I really thought she was a wrestling fan. It's just funny how you think, and then it's not like that.
No, you never know anything until you
Yeah.
ask, until you find out, or until they tell you. You know, a lot of these wrestlers like to keep mystery about themselves. It's not like back in the 80s and 90s, you know, where it was very hard to find out about a wrestler. Now you go online, you can find out almost anything you want instantly for the most part. There's no real mystery there. So I kind of don't like anymore, but now I've become like a mark of it. Now I'm like, I need to know what happened, why. It's not like back in the day, man. But anyway, let's get into AEW Dynamite, right? Usually I don't do this, but I don't have too many notes, but I can pretty much break down Dynamite for everybody, and then we can get into some quick discussion. I'd like to know what everybody's favorite match of the night was, because we actually had some good matches tonight on Dynamite. We saw real professional wrestling, especially that FTR match, which that's the one that I want to talk about the most, because that match was absolute fire. It could have been a 5-star match if it wasn't for that one botch from Swerve over there. But other than that, that match was fucking money. FTR was money. That powerbomb spot with Keith Lee, holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. What a fucking spot. Fans were even chanting holy shit. It was a great night. AEW opens up live from Virginia, live with the Ring of Honor World Champion, the Ocho, Chris Jericho. We get the Pyro, you get the Jericho Appreciation Society by his side. Judas is definitely still in my mind. We need to go on that Jericho cruise one day, Gilch. It's going to happen. Maybe all 4 of us can go on that Jericho cruise one day. It's a good time. Chris Jericho is the Ocho, and we're going to get a match right now between Claudio and Wheeler Yuta versus Jericho and Daniel Garcia in a tag team match. Claudio Jericho started us off. Yuta and Garcia got into it a little bit. There was a nice body slam into like an instant standing senton by Wheeler. That was nice. Also, him and Claudio had some nice tag team spots with the uppercut into the German. Basically, this match became at one point chops versus uppercuts. I got shot out to Jake Hager with a purple hat, his money shot as we go to break. Back from break, we get an explosion of offense from Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio goes absolutely berserk. Jericho lands the code breaker. We get the save from Wheeler, and then Claudio turned into Superman, the Superman that we know and love, and he literally destroyed the entire Jericho Appreciation Society. Hit the finish, got the clean 1-2-3 on the Ocho. Well, I was shocked. He beat the shit out of everybody. Jericho put him over. Claudio looked hella strong. I give this whole match a 3. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna go to you, Thomas, first. Did you watch this match? Did you like it?
So, loved how it started off with the hard-hitting hits just to start off with. I'm really kind of curious of where they're going to go with this. I have a couple guesses as far as the Combat Club goes and stuff after Full Gear, but if I was going to answer a question about wrestlers conditioning wise or whatever, and Bully Ray actually posted about it earlier tonight on Twitter, Claudio is his spin will end with Garcia on him. That just made me pop and pay even more attention to the show. That was the highlight for me. Besides his usual running forearms, uppercuts, it was his spin. I wasn't expecting a 45-second spin at all, and nor was it. But it was still way more than I can do. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that powerbomb to Jericho at the end was nice, too. Had the little extra oomph on it. Jericho with the bat in his hand, Talk about another guy in ring shape. I'm not going to say physical shape, although Jericho looks much better than he did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He's 50-something years old, and he's literally the active GOAT right now. He's the only one left. Once he's gone, I don't know who the GOAT is. Jay, how about you? Did you like the match? Would you rate the match?
To finish that runoff sentence you have there, I'll say Randy Orton could definitely fill in the boots if Jericho's out.
Okay.
He could definitely be the GOAT, and I think he's the GOAT in my eyes.
I heard he might be done, man. I heard it might be bad news for Randy, but I don't want to get into that right now.
I'm going to touch on Tom.
I hope not. I pray. My prayers to Randy Orton that he can come back and have a good exit to his career.
Hopefully. But like Thomas said, that spot with the spin and definitely on the shoulders, Garcia and the whole thing, that was just the spot of the whole night. But for me personally, I don't know about you guys, but Claudio from WWE and now AEW, I could swear I saw more movesets in WWE compared to what I see AEW. I see too many European uppercuts. It's good to throw one or two, but when it's repetitive and it's every match that I watch, it just gets kind of dull and boring, and the crowd wasn't, not really into it, just on certain, like I said, the main big spot of the night. But I just feel like he could do so much more. And, you know, let's face it, he got a great physique, he got great fitness. He's super strong, does CrossFit, I believe. So, I mean, I would just love to see more. And I think you guys could agree on that. I would just like to see a little more. I can't rate it as great as you may rate it, Savage, with a 3. Like, I'm going to just be fair at a 2 because I did enjoy the spot, as Thomas mentioned. It was a great spot and it showed strength and, you know, it's
I don't know. I think Wheeler's definitely starting to come into his own, too. They look like they could be a decent tag team. And Claudio, at least tonight, a lot of it did look believable. That finish looked believable. The way he beat the shit out of everybody looked believable. Like, I thought they did a good job of really making him look fucking strong at the end of his show. It had like an attitude kind of finish. It looked like a spot they would have made for Stone Cold Steve Austin when he's out there beating the shit out of 6-7 people and then getting in the ring and getting the win. It made him look like a fucking beast. If there was little kids tonight watching tonight, they're going to school tomorrow and they're saying, "Did you see Claudio, man? He looked crazy." Gilch, how about you? Would you rate it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. It was a 3-star match. It was a good match.
Yeah, 3-star. I had fun with it. Absolutely.
What's throwing me off is this whole BCC drama. It's just like, it's weird. Like, they're supposed to be like, you know, the excellence of...
It's all part of the bigger picture.
I get it, but like wrestling excellence, and you're portraying them as this faction that like doesn't strategize, doesn't communicate with other. It's well run its course for me. So I'm hoping that, you know, our prediction of...
this is the sentiment of that.
Yeah, I'm hoping Regal will help turn on Moxley and
well, speaking of that, we're going to get right into it real quick. We're going to get right into it. We got an interview with Bryan Danielson with Renee Paquette, and Renee Paquette's really good at her job. She is the best interviewer they have ever had in AEW, and it's a pleasure to watch her on TV. Great addition to the show, adds real production value, and you get great interviews, great questions. And she's not afraid to get into it with the wrestlers either, because she's got someone that can actually watch her back. And he happens to be the world champion. She asks him how you're feeling ahead of his match. He's frustrated that he lost to Jericho, that he lost to Daniel Garcia. You know, Daniel Garcia turned his back on him. That Wheeler Yuta talked back to him. He knows that a lot of people hate Sammy. You know, that he hates Sammy. Sammy has a stupid walk. He's got a smug face. But he's going to take out all his frustration tonight. And while he's saying all this, he's yelling and he's getting mad. Wheeler Yuta walks in, says, "I'm glad you're mad. Did you just see what we just did? I'm not your son. I'm not your kid. I'm a grown-ass man," he says. Claudio breaks it up. Regal comes in, breaks it up, says we're going to discuss this like adults. And that would come into play later on in the night. But you can see the dissension. It's happening here, man. It's nonstop. William Regal's going to turn on someone here. Probably going to be, I would think, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and Mox. He's probably going to side with Bryan Danielson and MJF. That's what I could see happening.
So what I'm thinking, and not to jump ahead, and we can hold it off if we need to, but
no, you're good.
I think the brass knuckles are going to come into play because if you listen, and maybe we'll segue to MJF's talk, whatever, which is one of the highlights of the night as always. He mentioned not having the ring. You know, a lot went on, especially the end of the evening or whatever, that could lead you to believe something's kind of going on. But without using the ring, the diamond ring, I can see at the end when all this shapes out to try and make him the real devil and the heel of heels, using the brass knuckles. And I don't know if he needs William Regal or whatever the case is, because they both are fantastic speakers. But William Regal back in the day was a dirty player. He was, he was that, and I can see the brass knuckles coming into play on that. There's a lot to talk about between that and the main event at the end.
Absolutely.
He don't need a mouthpiece like you said, but I think Regal actually gives him more legitimacy inside the ring, just being in his corner.
Now, Regal just adds more layers to the story because Regal is good TV. He's good on TV in any segment. He doesn't even need to be a solid presence. He could just be on commentary during the MJF matches. That does wonders for someone's career. He doesn't have to get involved in any matches. He doesn't have to do anything ringside. He could literally just come on commentary and talk about how fucking good MJF is. And that is good TV.
I'll let you go on. I'm sorry. I just want to say that's actually a brilliant prediction. Like we all thought he was turning on him, but that's exactly what's going to happen. Especially since he promised tonight he won't.
And what happened tonight? MJF came out to try to fucking save Moxley. You have to. It's brilliant, and it could go like this. Maybe MJF came out on purpose. Maybe he told the the firm to come out and do the job. Yeah, Dilch, we got some spammer on YouTube. See if you can ban this free girls in the city. He's letting us know. Just in case anybody's interested. It's in the chat right now. Free girls in the city. But let's get back to the next segment, which is going to be something you guys probably want to talk about. And I'll go to you first, Thomas. We see a little thing with the Young Bucks here and Kenny Omega. They're hinting at a return. You see a little small video package coming out about how they pretty much built this company. They built this company, and they want to take it to heights that it hasn't seen before. Great video package, great timing. When do you think we're going to see a return, and, what are you expecting from them? Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks.
So, I can tell you that, boy, you want controversy and cash, right? I don't have a problem with Punk not coming back. Side note, because they're all tied to each other. That may not be a popular opinion for some people, but
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. So as far as those guys go, I think leaving them off TV for a while, or whatever their suspension is, or whatever the real stuff is out there besides what the dirt sheets say, is I think they do come back. Do they get the trios tag titles? I think so. I honestly, just like many people who don't need a belt, I don't think they need it. I think they just need to be together first to start, because I think you're eventually going to see a turn by Pac. And then you're not going to have them having the belts anyway, regardless. I don't know who you put the belts on or whatever, because there ain't nobody really I'm invested in, but that's my opinion. But do the Bucks come back? I think they come back. If it's the Attitude Era, which they never were part of that, but I think they come back as against Tony, but I don't think Tony's going to be ever on-screen character or whatever the case is, even though I think deep down he's dying to be. I think they do come back. I think they make a hit. I love the short-term storytelling. I'd love for them to be back at Full Gear, because I plan on being there. That would be a nice little pop to see what they do.
Yeah, me and Gilch are going to be at Full Gear for sure.
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can build it out even further. I don't know what's after Full Gear, but you got maybe Revolution in January, so you got 2023 now. Keep them off for a long period of time, but I think they got to evolve. I think they got to go on from that branded with the video spraying and whatever else it is. So it's my 2 cents.
Yeah, you bring CM Punk up, and it's a good thing they didn't give the video game a release date yet, and this is probably why they haven't given us a release date yet, because CM Punk is on the goddamn cover. But I think we're gonna see the AEW video game come out probably in December, and it's gonna have somebody that you may know on the cover, and his name is MJF, and I can't fucking wait for it, baby.
I tell you what, some people that go on and they don't think he's polished enough in the ring yet. He doesn't fight enough. You want to shut those people up? Have him work a 3, 4, 5 match fucking program with Kenny and put on fucking 5-star bangers for
Bro, they need to let him go on a 1 year, maybe 2 year nasty. He beats everybody in the ring run, and then he loses eventually. Whatever, that's the way it goes. But if you put a nasty run on him, that's how you really build and implant a legacy. A long-lasting legacy in this business where he can go the next 20 years and always have a claim to the title because of what he did. That's how legends are fucking made. They're built. All right? This isn't the NBA where you can earn it through your play. This is where the booker has to make the decision to say, I'm going to go with this guy. This is going to be my fucking guy.
But you know what's crazy? MJF he's 26 years old.
Very young, absolutely.
I have students that I talked to last December or whatever it is that I taught that are 24 years old. No real difference on that. And I had them as kids, and I remember, and I'm like, 26 years old. I'm like, this dude has, barring God forbid any injuries or whatever, he's got another 20 years to even be beyond like a Randy Orton. And Randy Orton is in his peak in his early 40s. He's in the mid 40s or whatever he is now, but or 40 years old. He's he doesn't need to wrestle, just like they say out there. He doesn't really need to wrestle. He'll eventually have to defend that title because we all know he's going to win it somehow. And he's just going to get that heel heat. I think he's going to come back. I think the firm's in his pocket. He's going to say how he took the ass
possibility, yeah.
Prove it. If not, I kind of like where they're going. But on a side
he's
note,
the devil, and what does the devil do? The devil deceives.
Yeah, I think on a side note on this, I saw this, and it literally was out of Jericho's mouth. It's not a thing I read or anything. Jericho said he had a conversation. He was talking in a scrum or something. He was talking with MJF about coming back, and he goes, when you come back, he goes, you're going to be the biggest face And he's like, I don't want to be the face. He goes, we're like, pretty much what he said is like, we're going to work on like, how you're going to come back. So there's no doubt in my mind the two of them are working together backstage, helping each other, or him helping him. And exactly what this is has Jericho's name written on it as far as creative help with how the story's going. And MJF's they're going to talk about it tomorrow on Busted Open, I'm sure. MJF is a face right now.
We got plenty of time to talk about MJF because I got to go over his promo in a couple of minutes. But Gilch, you have any comments on Young Bucks? I know you're a big Super Kick guy, so if you want to make a comment on the Bucks, go for it.
I mean, we've been hearing the rumors that they're kind of ending the suspension. They're coming back. CM Punk's being bought out. So we heard the rumors to see at least, some AEW
something come to life
video.
Tonight.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is really coming back. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that Kenny gets back into form.
We know Jay's excited. He's wearing the goddamn T-shirt. He fucking loves the Young Bucks.
Yeah, but it's funny because I know you want to go off. I'm just gonna make a quick on MJF. It's
if you want to save MJF, his interview's coming up literally in 2 seconds. Well, actually, that's not true. All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I
forgot we have the match with FTR before
someone
MJF, and I gotta go off on that match. I don't have any notes on that match because I don't need any notes because my brain was implanted on the fucking TV for all of it because that's how goddamn good it was.
Someone this week mentioned The Rock to me and how when The Rock became a face, it was organic. Like, he didn't change anything about himself. The character didn't change. They turned on Vince, here and there. But, he still, goes in on people on his promos. He organically became face.
That's how he was in the back of the locker room. He was talking shit to everybody, raising the eyebrow.
Right, and this is kind of similar to that. I know I don't want to compare him to Peak Rock. I know people say I'm crazy, but this is what it feels like.
But no, that's the comparisons a lot of people are saying. They're like, if he keeps this up, he's going to be like The Rock, basically, as far as promos go. Because he's killing it, man. He's killing it. He killed it again tonight. Did a good job. We'll get into his promo. But tonight, somebody else killed the audio during this segment. We had a big-time audio issue with the interview with Jericho Appreciation Society. Come on, 4 years you're doing this already, guys? What the fuck? Get your shit together. You made Jericho sound like shit. You made Sammy sound like shit. They were coming in and out. Very bad look. He was basically saying he opens the challenge next week to any former Ring of Honor champion that wants to face the Ocho, but it's not going to be a pretty sight. Sammy says tonight he's going to do what he always does and put on a show because he is that damn good, and he's going to beat Bryan Danielson again. Now, we're going to get into the match with FTR and Swerve in Our Glory. And like I said, I don't have any notes because I don't need any notes. These guys came out to the ring. I know for a fact Swerve and Keith Lee are on their way out as far as the tag team goes. And it makes sense that they won this match the way they won this match because Acclaimed is going to go on to beat them again. Acclaimed is not losing the championship. That's why we can't put Acclaimed and FTR together yet. Because it doesn't make sense that Acclaimed would be able to defend the titles against FTR. FTR is the best tag team in the world right now. That's why they're walking around with 6 titles.
Maybe that's how they go over, by beating FTR.
Eventually, but not yet.
Over anyway. But
not yet. First, you have to send FTR back to the line. Let some other tag teams come in for a couple of months so Acclaim can go over for a couple of more months. As long as those shirts are selling, they're not going to lose.
Yeah, you're right. They don't need it. They're so over right now.
They're over right now. But I love the way the Ass Boys were out there to watch this match. I love the way the FTR came out and then Acclaim came out. They're scissoring with chairs. They're out here to watch the match. We didn't get a promo from them. I love that this was all business. This was bill-to-bill wrestling 101. If you want to learn how to wrestle, watch Dax Hardwood. Watch Cash. Okay? They are the reason why professional wrestling is still kind of good. They get in the ring and they have a professional wrestling match every time. And I love it. I appreciate it. And as a former wrestler, someone that took the bumps, took the chops, took the shots, I respect and appreciate when you see guys that try so actively hard to keep the business sacred. You know, it's something that a lot of people don't do anymore. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to drop names. I'm not going to talk shit. But you know who you are. FTR ain't those guys. FTR are like still maybe the last 2 real traditional tag team wrestlers that are left walking alive in the world today. All right, as far as wrestling goes. The match was phenomenal. Powerbomb spots were phenomenal. 4.5 match for me. I loved it. Huge fan. Big shout out to Daddy Ass for taking control of the crowd, even though FTR is in the ring putting on a banger of a match. Unbelievable job. Unbelievable match. Swerve and Keith Lee are the winners of this match. Big screw job for the finish. Gilch, I'll go straight to you. Did you like this match? Of course you did. What are you rating it? What do you think?
I'm going to go 3.5. It was a good match. Good back and forth. A lot of near falls. The thing that kind of did it for me is I could see the DQ coming from a mile away. Which, you know, it is what it is. But good match.
after the save of the big rig, because the big rig's very well protected. So once you saw that save, I was like, oh, this is trouble.
Great spot. And I know he does it in all his matches, but when guys coming off the rope and Keith Lee fucking jumps over him, it was a nice spot. He jumped over both of them together.
Keith Lee had the move of the night, man. That pop-up powerbomb was fucking phenomenal. Jay, what did you rate it? What did you think?
This is what happens when two people go see FTR and they say this is a 4.5 star, 5-star banger, 4 here. They did great work, yada, 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 yada. I have told you guys in the last 2-3 episodes that Swerve in our house was going to win. Why? Because FTR is so over, it makes no sense to have an over team go over team that's up and coming, which is the Acclaim. Makes no sense. So I saw this a mile away, which AEW is best known for, predictability. And this was definitely known across the board. Do I like the win? Yes. I think what was most impressive is Keith Lee athleticism. Let's face it, he jumped over both FTR, for God's sakes. Give the man his roses, please. You talk about that powerbomb spot. That was a good spot, too. And Dax definitely showed his moves. I'm not going to lie. FTR definitely knows how to wrestle and everything. But, I personally don't think it's match of the night. I know that's what you were saying in the beginning. To me, it's not. So I'm going to just be fair at a 3. I thought it was pretty fair. It was pretty nice. It was pretty entertaining. And there was some nice spots. But, it definitely was predictability. And, just the Acclaim coming out there, I was really kind of wish they rat. I'm pretty sure you guys too. But just having them out there, I didn't really see a purpose in that, and that whole mess at the end that, I could have lived without.
All right,
just
Thomas, how about you, Thomas?
So I felt a little, they're definitely listening to their dad. I felt a little Attitude-esque error with the Guns being in the audience dressed up like the other wrestlers, like you've seen so many times in WWE in the 90s.
That's a great take.
When somebody's dressing up like somebody, I go, you know what? I go, that's pretty good. Normally I can care less or whatever. I go, that's pretty good. I like how it ended where they held Cash, I believe it was, off. I didn't like, and it's just because of the way one of my friends even says, the way they're kind of booking Keith Lee. I don't think he should have took the big rig. I think Swerve should have took the big rig, but I understand why he did, so Swerve can do what he did at the end in order to get the win, pulling him out, hitting the low blow. So that makes sense there. The biggest thing I wanted to say was, I don't know about 5 stars, 3 stars, or whatever the case as far as ratings goes. I enjoy an FTR match all the time. Fantasy booker in my head, which will never happen in AEW. I'd love to see Cornette come out one time with those guys. That's a side note, not for this conversation. However, I think for those guys, I think they're inevitably going to be fighting the Guns for the Ring of Honor titles, possibly at the upcoming pay-per-view. So I think eventually, though, FTR has gotta do something with some of the titles because they're just not defending them. I don't know about you. I don't watch New Japan Strong. I'm not opposed to it. It's just I'm not subscribed to it. There's no such thing as Ring of Honor technically right now. They're not even defending them, and they even talk about it on social media like you did.
I think they're getting their own show on HBO or something like that.
Yeah, and just split up that roster and just have it like here's Ring of Honor, here's Ring of Honor. Let Jericho lead the ship like he did for AEW to begin with. Build it up.
It's probably going to be Jericho and FTR that are like the superstars of that show.
Yeah,
and maybe Daniel Garcia, a couple of guys.
But FTR pound for pound. My point is that I'm not a ratings guy, but the actual, like Bully talks about, the actual tags. You notice every time when Cash came in, he tagged him once. Oh, I'm coming in again. He got right out of the ring. Came in again, tagged him again, and came back in. And he did, it's just legit. I know they're supposed to tag with their hands or whatever the case is, but they keep tag team wrestling the way tag team wrestling.
Yeah, that's why I gave it, I love it, the love I gave it, because it's like watching a tape on how to learn how to wrestle. It's Wrestling 101. FTR makes it look like beyond easy. And the big rig on Keith Lee, that was just more to put over FTR, because they're about to take a loss, so you better believe they're going to put on a fucking, a good-looking move before they go down. and made them look super strong. What I loved about this match is that there's like 4 different stories all taking place at once. You got the growth of the Acclaimed, who respect FTR enough to come sit ringside to watch their match. They're not even the champions of AEW. Acclaimed is, but they're still going to give that respect and come out and watch the match closely because that's how much they respect FTR. That puts FTR over. Then you have the Guns development in the crowd, and then of course Keith Lee and Swerve. That, you know, that's all going to go bye-bye. You know, this is just leading up to that.
So to your point, we're talking about giving respect. You got to remember, though, it was a number 1 contenders match. So the Acclaimed, although I get your idea with them being out there seeing what's going on, they still were going to see who were they going to face.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
You know, it's kind of like being out on commentary, but not being out on commentary. You know, kind of Young Buck X, like sitting at the top of the stage. So they're seeing who they're going to fight against. And I like that they didn't interfere because they very easily could have saved FTR. They let play out. No,
Acclaimed are cool, man. It's all about peace and love. That's what Scissor Me Daddy is for. You know, they're not gonna. They're the type that they're not gonna start something. They're gonna finish it. So we'll see what happens. Good storyline though, and we'll keep it moving now. Okay, we're gonna get an interview on AEW television. Renee Paquette with her old friend Paige, or Saraya. So sorry, Saraya. Is it Saraya? What are your thoughts on Saraya, Thomas?
I heard her interview on Talk Is Jericho. When she first came back, I did pop for her because I didn't know about it. So I thought it was good. I wasn't sure where she was going. I think it's going to lead to I think Tony Storm's going to wind up fighting Jamie Hayter at Full Gear. I think hopefully Tony Storm loses because I'm not into her at all as a character. But as far as Saraya goes, I think she's going to wind up going against Britt Baker. Maybe she goes over because Britt, I think, could afford to lose. She's sort of Teflon to a degree. Or a tag team of some sorts where it still keeps Saraya strong because she hasn't been in the ring forever. So she may be a little rusty from what we know. So maybe some kind of tag team going that way. I like the two of them. The two of them are, once Saraya gets her feet wet again and does her thing, I think provided her health is all there, I think between her and Britt Baker, they're the two top ones. Can't count Thunder Rosa in there right now because you don't know where she is. And I think those two are the future coming together as far as matches go.
That's a good take, man. Britt Baker's definitely going to put on some magic with Jamie Hayter over the next year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Just like I'm sure Gilch and Jay, we all love Britt Baker, DMD. Shout out to her. She had her interview. But you know who else had an interview right after all this? We had an interview with MJF. You know, he comes out asking if there's any devil worshippers in the house. They ask him how he feels about, Moxley. MJF then goes on to do his best Mox impersonation. I'm going to gargle your piss because I'm John Moxley. He grabs the mic from Renee, gives it back, says he loves Virginia, even with all your shortcomings. Little shout out to them. Renee, with all due respect, shut your mouth, which got a big pop. MJF chants start breaking out. This whole thing was pretty good. I mean, last week's promo was so good. It's like, how can it get better than that? But MJF tried his best. Seemed to be a little more himself tonight. Like, as far as, like, I didn't feel like he was yelling or being as intense as he was last week. Calls William Regal a couple of names. At Full Gear, when I go for the grandest prize of them all, I will not use my Dynamite Diamond ring. All I need to win a grudge match is what I already have. I have grudges. I take all those grudges, I turn them into chips, I put it on my shoulder, and I get it done. I ain't fighting Regal or Mox or Penta. I'm fighting every single sorry scumbag who told me I was not good enough, and I'm going to take this heavy chip off my shoulder and shove it down all their throats when I become your new AEW champion of the world, because I am a generational talent. Cue his catchphrase, better than you and you know it. It was good stuff. Jay, what do you have to say about MJF?
We can't expect all the time it's going to be a home run like last week, We all got to come face to facts. He's going to have a good promo, and this is what it was. See, the man knows how to talk. He knows how to capture all of us. My eyes are glued when MJF comes and talks and speaks. But I said it from, last. AEW's predictability. I mean, Thomas and Gilch, y'all talked about MJF, he's going to do this, and the firm, they're going to be part. Everybody has their shares, and I feel the totally same with you guys. And I thought this was just good. I don't think it was the best. It can't be the best. So I'm just going to be average at a 3 if we have to rate it.
Nah,
But,
I don't really care about the ratings too much, to be honest. I mean, I used to do the ratings because I wanted to be different than other shows. That's why I used to do the ratings. Like, sometimes I do the ratings and sometimes I don't. It's kind of hard to rate promos. Rating a promo can be harder than rating a match. Also, Stokely interrupted as well. And MJF says, I'm gonna, cut you a break tonight, Stokely. Just don't go near Mox. Don't go near them. Don't even look at him. I need him 110%, or you're fired. And then, he does his catchphrase and goes off. But we're gonna get more into Stokely later tonight. Gilch, you have anything to say about MJF before we get into the video package with the Kingdom and Warjo? I'm gonna take Thomas's take on MJF too. But Gilch, you got anything to say about MJF? Stokely, the Firm, Renee Paquette?
Very good, as usual. It wasn't nowhere near any of his best work, but it was kind of short tonight, to the point.
Yeah, short's a good description. He usually goes long.
The Firm thing, I don't know. I don't like it. I liked it when it happened, but then it died off so fast, and we thought for a second they just dumped it because we didn't see Stokely for a week. So, I mean, I guess what you're predicting is probably what would happen. The Firm is still in his pocket and deception, this and that, but
we'll have to wait and see. Thomas, you have any final thoughts on MJF, the Firm, Stokely?
I like what happened. I think it leaves the crowd to kind of guessing, which is what it's all about, which adds to conversation. I'm not 100% sure if it was, I can see where it could be set up with MJF, but I think one of the biggest things people are going to say is that he had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. Like, it was Jericho-esque is the best way to describe it. Jericho's a heel. He talks bad about everything else. Sticks middle fingers to good guys that people should be cheering for, and the crowd sings his song. If MJF had a song that people could sing to,
they would sing it.
They'd be singing the same thing. I mean, honestly, at the end, he goes, I'm not fighting so-and-so, I'm not fighting so-and-so. I have this chip on my shoulder. This goes out to all the people that doubted me or whatever. Again, tying back to what I talked about in interviews and stuff that I do. Who doesn't have people that they want to say F you to, whether it's your boss, whether it's people that doubted you. Oh, you want to doubt me? I'm going to come back. Again, one word, relatability.
Yeah, and inspiration. And that's what MJF has. He is an inspiration.
He also has a great Moxley impression in front of his wife.
That was pretty good, man. I'm not gonna. My favorite part is when he told when he told Renee to basically shut up, and then he still got a pop for it. Gotcha. The crowd was eating it up. They loved it. The crowd loves MJF. And bottom line, he's fucking over. He's fucking over. This ain't anywhere near New York or Long Island or New Jersey in the tri-state area, as he likes to say. Because at Full Gear, he's going to be in his hometown area, in the tri-state.
Mox is getting booed that night.
Oh, yeah. They're going to eat him up that night.
They'll get cheered when he comes back because they'll have a good entrance.
But long term, this is going to do wonders for Moxley's career, because essentially he's going to do the job for MJF and put him over. And, Moxley will eventually get respect for that.
Man, it's still disappointing to me that he's not going to go over on CM Punk, because that was going to be going over.
He did go over on CM Punk. He did. He went right over him to the cover of AEW Forever, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's going to be great. All right, now we're going to get a video package with the Kingdom and Warjo. I'm going to be quite frank with you. I love Wardlow. I love Joe, but I don't love Warjo, and I don't give a shit about this. I love Maria Menounos, and the Kingdom looks like they could have potential, but I feel like they're just being used for enhancement talent to just make Wardlow and Joe look good. It is what it is. They're not going to have a real significant contribution to fucking AEW anytime soon. Let's be honest. This is filler content. Does anybody have anything to say about fucking the Kingdom or Warjo, or can we just move on?
I always thought the Kingdom should have been
it's up to you.
WWE, but I've been saying
I'll listen. If you have something to say, I'll listen. That's what I'm here for. Here to listen to your take.
Matt Taven should have been WWE bound. I think this was
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
I could care less about Mike Bennett. Sorry.
Okay. Right.
I always like Mike Bennett as the gold standard and Impact, but after that, he kind of fell off.
They really made Samoa Joe wear like the tropical shirt too. I mean, unless he picked that, he looks fucking awesome though. I love Samoa Joe. He's one of my favorites in the ring.
But why put them together? This is all
because it's Warjo, bitch.
Money out of our
it's a cash grab. They want to sell the T-shirt.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
What happened to the Storm?
William Regal's joining the commentary table. We're gonna get a match between Sammy and Bryan Danielson. Sammy comes out with Tay Conti. Sammy with a springboard cutter right out the gate, almost putting Bryan away right away. Bryan was basically beating the shit out of Sammy. Closed fist shots, hard kicks. Sammy comes back from break, and he is fired up. He calls Bryan a stupid dragon and hits him with some yes kicks. But now Bryan Danielson's actually pissed off. He now gives him some real stiff kicks, even stiffer chops. Hell of a physical battle. Hell of a job by Sammy. But he should have been selling a little more. He wasn't selling as much as he should have been. The beating that Bryan was giving him should have been sold a little more throughout the match. It was sold at the end because in the end, Bryan Danielson would basically make him fucking pass out. Bryan, to me, looks like he's taking a turn for the dark side. And I can just sense the dark side coming from Bryan Danielson. He's going to be turning into a heel very soon. And all I'm going to say is this. Bryan Danielson as a heel, that's tough. That's very dangerous. And let's go to Thomas for a second. Bryan Danielson, Sammy, what'd you think?
Dan was the moonsault to the outside. I think Bryan Danielson sent him a letter. He posted it about 3 days earlier and said, "I'm going to be here." Stepped up underneath it, and I think it was, it's almost that. Athleticism aside, I think it was a postcard just as much as when somebody runs out on the turnbuckle and everybody stands there to catch the person. Worse than a LaGreca-Lean. Shout out to David Greca on that one. That's pretty bad. But no, I think everything was there. I think you're spot on with Danielson turning. His attitude in the back, especially, which is even more important than the match, was actually, that was in the beginning when he was saying, you disrespected me, all that kind of stuff, higher than his other teammates. I like to see a heel on that one because if MJF is, I don't know if MJF's heading towards a face, but the crowd's going to cheer him regardless, and you need somebody you're going to boo. But again, you have Danielson, and Danielson's a cool ass bad guy. You just like they say, man, there's not too many heels that are really, really heels.
Yeah. No, it's 100% true. They need some more heels. MJF is pretty much the only real believable heel that they have. I mean, there's a couple other of them, but MJF does it better than anybody. Gilch, what'd you see in this match? Would you rate it, or what'd you think?
It was solid. It was okay.
I thought it was going to be better than what it was. It wasn't bad. It was.
Yeah.
I don't even want to give it a rating anymore. I had a 3 for it because I was expecting much more from this match. I feel like it didn't deliver as much as it could have been. This should have been the match of the night. This should have been the match that stole the show. And it didn't. And I felt like they tried to copy what NXT did last night with the whole passing out thing. Because I don't know if you watched NXT, but Dragunov basically got tapped out by JD McDonough last night, passing out, blood all over the place. Much more dramatic and a much better match. But that's a different conversation. Jay, how about you? What'd you see tonight?
I think as a side note, he's growing on me more. I almost wish he would have went to a feud with Jericho. It just gives you an idea of just how good he's coming into his own as Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have that quintessential looking wrestler that we all grew up with or whatever, but the bangers that he puts on with Danielson is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
so,
he does good wrestling with Danielson whenever they're in the ring together. Jay, how about you? What'd you think of this match?
Yeah, I'm going to continue off that. Bryan Danielson makes this match look good to me. I actually enjoyed this match. I had a different take on you guys. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I know everybody's throwing dirt on CM Punk's name and not, but he is the only guy, in my opinion, I may get a lot of heat for this. In my opinion, the only guy that put asses to seats, especially selling box office over $1 million plus merch and everything. Now, we're all going to say, no, but MJF should, but the merch sales ain't there. So, personally, I feel that Bryan Danielson could be that next person, especially have a nice program with MJF, and it could definitely make a lot of money and put asses to seats. And I would be entertained just as much as you guys would entertained, because let's face it, Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler on the planet. We've seen it tonight. We've seen it with that unique surfboard he had him. I mean, what can you not like about this guy? Athleticism, strength.
He was tremendous.
There was no
botches. He was tremendous.
There was no botches. Thomas talk about that moonsault. That moonsault looked like a rainbow shot if I were to shoot it in a basketball court. That's how long it was in the air. I mean, what can you not like about this match? He knows how to sell. And I'm sorry, I still don't feel that Wheeler Yuta is going to sell me on the mic, because he's not going to sell me on the mic, and he didn't sell me tonight. But when he interviewed with Bryan Danielson talking to Renee, it was good because Bryan Danielson makes the facials and he makes it look good no matter who he's with, even if they don't have a personality. So I enjoyed this match. This was the match of the night for me.
Okay, I to me the FTR was one, but this was close. I would have loved this match more if just Sammy would have sold just a little more for Daniel, because it looked like Daniel Bryan was Bryan Danielson. I'm saying Daniel Bryan because I have it stuck in my head. The night I became a Daniel Bryan fan was the night AJ Lee dumped him, and he cut that famous promo where he had his white shirt on, like an office kind of shirt, and he ripped it off. Just started screaming for like 15 minutes on live SmackDown, and it was incredible. Once I saw that, I was like, wow, look what this guy's capable of.
I just feel like, personally, like Tony Khan has all these box office people that could put asses to see, even
he
if
probably
you
is
buy
their
out
biggest star
CM Punk
right now.
contract,
You're probably not wrong.
You're putting them in these silly, groups and factions. And I really hope the tease of them breaking up really does happen, because Bryan Danielson needs to be going alone.
I think it will.
And his merch really could fly.
We got an interview. Well, actually, wait. Did I miss anybody? Did somebody not get their take on this match? Everybody's good?
Jamie Hayter.
No, we got another match, but we got an interview with Ray Phoenix and his boy Alex. They're talking about his Brothers World Championship match coming up. They're hyping up Penta. Ray says any member of Death Triangle can become a world champion. Christian Cage interrupts, says Luchasaurus is looking for a challenge. And then Orange Cassidy steps in, says, you talking about me? You talking about this? Well, next week, let's do this. I guess it's going to be another triple threat match between Orange Cassidy, Luchasaurus, and Ray Phoenix. Interesting match. Who's going to win? I have no idea. Probably Orange, right? He's not losing that match.
I think it's set up to have Jungle Boy run back in.
Okay.
I think it's all that. Jungle Boy comes back in. Here's the problem though, which it's just like with what's his name, with Wardlow when he got cooled off. Like everybody's saying. I think this whole feud probably could have been one of the best feuds in AEW going, blood-wise, like old 80s style with Christian, because I'm not a fan of his personality or whatever character-wise, but wrestling-wise, telling a story and just his experience, I think would have made Jungle Boy even more. And I think if he wasn't injured, this feud would be money.
Jungle Boy's a hell of an athlete, hell of a wrestler. I actually like him. He just needs a little more work on his mic skills. Maybe talk less, or just like really think about what you're going to say. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Because when he starts going on for more than a minute or two, I start losing interest. And I'm not trying to be mean or whatever. That's just the way it is. He's not as good on the mic as Christian Cage is. Obviously not yet. It's going to take some time before we get to that point. But when you're talking to Christian Cage, you got to come correct or you're going to look weak. Christian Cage is a absolute assassin on the microphone right now. He's at the best I've ever seen him on the microphone. Christian Cage is. Real quick point, Bryan Danielson, I definitely want to see him turn heel. I think it'll be good TV.
Those Christian promos, those heel promos, kind of like saved the show a bit while MJF was out.
100%, great fucking.
That filled in for that,
Great take, Gilch. That storyline was pretty much carrying the company for a while. That was one of their main stories. They were going for a couple of weeks. The whole Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy thing. We're gonna get one match before the main event. Riho versus Jamie Hayter. Real quick, Jamie Hayter was super impressive tonight. Nice spinning snap suplex. Jamie with a win, setting her up for her and Toni Storm. Britt Baker actually looking real pleased that Hayter won. Who wants to take a spin on this match?
I'll take a stab.
Go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Thomas. You can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Jay's always here, Thomas. Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. You special guy. Go ahead.
So I think it was to make Hayter look stronger, look more relevant. I'm not sure why. I mean, she looks good in the ring, but she's super over with the crowd, maybe because she's got that badassness to her, and many people are mentally putting her in what will probably be the former Combat Club. I could see her doing that part, but I think, like I said, it's setting up Toni Storm. I don't know the status of Thunder Rosa, but if you're just going on,
her status is busted open Friday nights. That's her status.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see. Oh man, I would say Hayter Hater going over on Storm, assuming Thunder Rosa's not in the story. Hater going over on Tony Storm, and eventually a story with Britt Baker and Hater. But for time being, depending on what Saraya is doing, Saraya and Britt are gonna.
I think Saraya and Britt are gonna fight while Hater and Storm fight. Thunder's gonna come back. They're gonna finally take care of this interim world bullshit. We're gonna get a real women's world champion, and then we'll go from there. But I think the reason Hater's so over is because Britt Baker gives her the nice spice. She's rubbing her real nice. You know what I mean? She's giving her that rub, a little bit of that, because Britt Baker's got the crowd. In almost every arena I've seen her go to, I see everybody doing the DMD. Every show I've been to, she's there. They're doing the DMD. They love her. And she has had Hater's back for a while now. So Hater's obviously super gifted, with or without Britt Baker. And she will become a world champion and a fan favorite. And it's going to be good storytelling. I can't wait to see it. I just wanted to ask you real quick before I move on to the main event. What do you think about Thunder Rosa on the mic? And what do you think about her on Busted Open?
So Thunder came on last Friday from what I caught. It's the least of the days I watch. And she was addressing how evidently, I guess, Tony Storm talked about her, whatever the drama is there. Pretty much addressed it on radio. Pretty much, long story short, is if you need to talk to me, you know where to find me, call me, whatever. Totally understand that. That's cool. She seems to be legitimately hurt. I'm not going to question her on it. She's a professional wrestler. I'm not. I don't know her injuries. So I believe it's obviously, of course, legit. And it is what it is, and she doesn't have a time period of coming back. I think she's definitely frustrated by that, and I don't think she gets enough credit for what she can do in the ring. I think she's weaker on the mic, and again, I think they should have gave her a bigger time period of addressing the crowd when she did eventually win that title. Like so many other people we know talked about it when they didn't give her time on the mic. They just kind of put it's just like anything else with AEW. As much as I like I like all the federations, but it's like we've heard this one from many people that are way smarter than us. It doesn't get time to breathe. You're moving from one segment to another. All of a sudden, you got Thunder Rosa, your woman's champ. Big thing. Now she's not the chaser; she's the holder. And
she didn't talk for like 2 weeks until after she won, right? Something like that, or 3 weeks.
They gave her like 2 minutes or whatever. Then she finally came out, and I don't know. It just it
fell flat. It fell flat.
Yeah, I think they still have a story between her and Tony Storm. If Tony Storm doesn't go this route we're talking about, I think it could be some real good matches with some good.
She's probably the most talented female wrestler in the world that can't talk on the mic.
Yeah, not talk as well as we like. I mean.
Well,
again,
yeah.
Or just whatever reason, not enough mic time to do it.
I don't think she's nervous or anything like that. I think she doesn't really put anything together. She goes out there and tries to wing it. And I don't think that's benefiting her. I think it would benefit her better if she went in the back and maybe wrote something up, kept it short, kept it sweet, and made it sound good. As long as you can do that, people will accept that. But if you're going to go out there and just shoot and then miss, people are going to talk.
She may have points. I mean, again, I hate saying that because if I was in front of her and I'd say the same thing, she may come back and say, no, listen, man, I do make bullet points. Okay, I'm wrong.
Okay, so maybe, yeah. I just feel like she shoots every time she talks. Or maybe she has an idea of what she wants to say, but then all of a sudden the camera rolls and she just says, fuck it. I feel like she's that type. And for some people, that really works. And then for some people, it doesn't. It's clearly obvious. So whatever she's doing is clearly not working, so she's got to try something else. Because I love her too much to see her fail. I want to see her thrive. I want to see her succeed. I want to see her get better on the mic. I want to see her come out, cut a promo, and make me believe that you are an ass kicker and that, you running around with this world title is legitimate. You don't have to say a lot.
I think some people are going to see this as if she keeps on, and I'm not saying she's not right because she's using the platform to express things because it's just, she's putting it out there. I think some people are going to eventually see it and get tired of okay, she's complaining again, but she's addressing her issues. Yeah. And they could perceive it as, we're just complaining over this, and people are just going to grow tired of it. I believe she's hurt. I believe she has issues with Storm literally coming out of her own mouth. And I think people are just going to be like, because drama stuff keeps on being built up and just addressed over and over. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? And so I think some people, because of not with control of Thunder Rosa, there's no payoff yet to get that. Oh man, she's back. They're going to beat her. She's going to beat her ass. That's what they want to see. So I guess.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Toni Storm, she did make her presence known. She came out, she held her championship, and then this is going to lead into an interview with Eddie Kingston. Jay, I'm going to let you take on this because you always have a good take on Eddie Kingston. What did you think of this interview? What was he trying to say? How are they pushing him? And like, what the fuck, man? Is this the Eddie Kingston we want? Like, one that looks confused?
What we're seeing is basically he's in limbo. I've been saying this ever since the feud after Chris Jericho. Bad booking, and we didn't know what to do with him. And as a result, he's in limbo, and he's just coming out, talking all wacky. I don't get this concept. I don't get where this is going. I think it's silly.
I'm getting like Brooklyn Brawler vibes right now from this picture that they're showing of Eddie Kingston. That's so sad because he's so good.
I have said this on this show repeatedly. Like, I have said this, that after the win against Chris Jericho, he has solidified himself as a rising star. This guy was just going to be up top. And what happened? They put him once again with Chris Jericho. And then after that, nobody really cared. And guess what? After that, bad booking all around. Then we put him with Santana Ortiz. I'll just be their kind of manager, and I'll just come out and watch them do tag team. Then I'll do a Stampede arena match, and I'll just be involved in that. Let's face it. Nobody knows what to do with Eddie Kingston, just like we don't know what to do with another rising star. Such an example.
It looks like Renee. Dude, it looks like Renee
TV.
Doesn't know what to do with Eddie Kingston in this picture. I'm looking at her face.
Ricky Sticks, Sammy.
My whole point is you have homegrown stars in your company and you don't know what to do with them. And it's sad that you, I guess, as a booker, just want to do these, I have all these people, I just want to do these fantasy matches and I just want to put them here and I don't want to use what I could use. And let's face it, did he really use MJF, or MJF really had to just talk a lot of shit to get his voice?
To me, I feel like MJF is using everyone there. Like, that's how I look at it.
But
MJF
my whole point is he had to talk a lot of real shit in order to get his voice heard. A homegrown AEW star had to do that. What does that say about everybody else?
Good luck.
That's my whole point.
So I feel I got vibes of Eddie Kingston was standing there, and if you saw his mannerisms, like, yeah, everything's great, I'm doing wonderful, like I don't think his hands are tied to where he can't speak his mind. I think he's playing on the fact of all the BS that happened with Sammy.
Yeah.
And I think it's toying the line of reality to where it's like, well, is he acting that to play off of what happened in the past? Because obviously they're not doing anything in the ring about this currently, so they're not addressing it as real life. Or was he, just like he's talked in the past, where it sounds like he makes it off at the top of his head. And again, he's one of the best talkers in the game.
Or what if he was drunk?
What's that?
What if he was drunk? What if he started drinking again? They do that storyline.
I don't know. I'm not even touching.
My whole point is, I hear your point, but what happened? You know with your own eyes that Eddie Kingston was on the rise after Jericho. Then all of a sudden, I just feel like it was just bad booking, and they had him while he was hot, and now it's too late.
Well, I agree with you. AEW has a great chemistry of good and bad booking, and this happened to be some bad booking with Eddie Kingston. But I'm sure we're going to see better from him next year. He's got a whole new year coming up. I hope so. I like Eddie Kingston, just like I like Miro. Miro's another guy that wasn't booked properly. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Miro should be on the run that Wardlow is on. The run that Wardlow had, that should have been Miro's run. He should have been a dominant fucking TNT champion,
listen,
kicking everybody's ass. But we didn't get that. We got Warjo. We got
Your
War
wife
Joe.
is talking to interviewers.
Hold
and
on.
saying,
We got.
he's
Listen, we're
getting
going.
booked just like WWE.
We're
They're
going
not gonna
long,
book
man.
Barrel
Let
no
me
more.
get into the main
They're not gonna
event.
book
Everybody
Barrel.
can get their final takes, and then we can still talk if everybody wants to. But real quick, coming up on Rampage, you're gonna have Madison Rayne versus Tay Mello. On Rampage, you're also gonna have Wardlow versus Matt Taven, another squash match, I'm sure. And next week on Dynamite, Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal. Actually excited about this match because these two guys can both go. After we talk about the main event, you guys can give me predictions if you think Jay Lethal is going to lose another match. I think he needs to win this match. I think this is a must-win match for Jay Lethal as far as his impact on AEW. We get a little promo from Darby. We get an interview from Jay Lethal. They're both talking shit, hyping up their match. And also on Dynamite next week, Daddy Ass Birthday Bash. Never thought I would say that, just like Excalibur. Daddy Ass Birthday Bash next week. We're also going to get Orange Cassidy, Luchasaurus, Rey Fenix, so we may get a new All-Atlantic champion, but I doubt it. Next week, you're going to see Saraya and Britt Baker, DMD. Sit down with Renee. That should be interesting. Chris Jericho versus a former Ring of Honor champion. No idea. But now we're going to get into the main event of the night, which is Jon Moxley versus Penta El Zero Mito. Or I probably butchered that. I'm sorry. That's why I always say Penta. I was actually shocked that Moxley wasn't bleeding in this match. The match was pretty good. I liked the match. Penta I love. But it's your typical Mox match, typical spots. The DDT on the stairs could have been better. Penta looked like a fucking superstar. His entrance is incredible. He looks like he can be a world champion. And if he would have won this match, I would have believed it. Because Penta's that damn good. He's good. He's really good. But the match was whatever. We get a big beatdown. Jon Moxley's going to get the win. Put the middle fingers in there. They're going to have a good match, but Jon Moxley's going to get the win. And the Firm's going to come out, and they're going to beat the absolute fucking shit out of Moxley. Morrissey coming out, taking off his shirt. Looks like a absolute stud. Looks like a giant. Talk about somebody who's in shape, man. Wow. And to touch on that real quick, the person I think who had the greatest body in the history of the WWE, although Ravishing Rick Rude is up there, Prime Ultimate Warrior, I think, had the best overall appearance. Today, best body in the game's got to either be Bobby Lashley or Braun Strowman, another guy who's put in the work. Braun Strowman is looking fucking superb right now. Like, holy shit.
I think you got to put Gunther there.
Gunther, yeah, he's had a transformation, absolutely, but he doesn't look like Braun Strowman, not yet. But yeah, he had a big transformation, man. Even Omasa's looking in better shape every week. I got to give it to him. Compared to last year, he's looked like he's lost a lot of weight, trying his hardest to actually put in the work, which is what it's about. When you put in the work, you will get the results. You can't expect to get results if you don't put in the work. And Moxley has put in the work his whole life to get to this point where he is now, to become the AEW champion of the world, the badass that he is, the way they book him, kicking everybody's ass. MJF doesn't like what's happening right now. He comes out, he's conflicted. He doesn't know if he should help or leave. Help or leave. Eventually he does. He comes, he helps, and then the Firm turns on him. They beat the shit out of him, but we don't know what this is. Is this a big setup? I don't know. Thomas, I'm going to go to you end of the night. We're getting right back into it real quick. Were you happy with the match? And obviously what happened with the Firm and MJF?
I wasn't really invested in the match. I'm not really invested in Penta. I know he's got talent, but it was kind of like a predictability. Like, there's no way in hell Penta was going to win.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's get to the end and see what happens here. I looked at the clock. I saw there was about 5 minutes left, or whatever the case was. I like the idea of Stokely coming out. I think he's doing tremendous since he's been here. The man can talk even better than what he was with the Diamond Line. I like him with this. I don't like the idea that it's a whatever the word was, where you pay them to come out and all that kind of stuff. I think minus the one that used to be in the Cody's farm system, team or whatever, whoever the guy with the greenish hair is.
Lee Moriarty?
Yeah, I think I'm at least involved with him. I think the rest of them are studs in there. I love Ethan Page. He should have had a title at some point too in the past. Him taking it from what's his name in the futures, it would be a great idea of Orange Cassidy, but it's another time. But I liked it. I liked the beatdown. I liked the authority that Stokely had sitting on the ring apron. Showed him like he's watching over everybody. I think MJF is going to try and do his very best to be the devil of devils. And he took one for the team and the good cause of, being hurt. But the other part is like, dude, like you took like these shots. Yeah, your boy got beat down after a match, or Mox did, but Mox didn't take a bad as beating as he did. So it's like, was it really a payoff? Like, I'm not sure. Like, you know.
I don't know the answer to this question, but if it turns out to be true, I just want to say it was weird to me that they picked out of everybody in the ring Ethan Page to be the guy that finishes MJF. It should have been Morrissey, right? Morrissey looks like he's the most dominant guy in the ring. But instead they went to Ethan Page's move.
He did it with the table, though.
No, that's true, but I'm talking about like in the ring, the final shot in the ring. The way Ethan Page does his Razor's Edge, it's like he's almost crucifying the devil. Like he has him up, he has his arms laid out like Jesus Christ, and then boom, we're gonna destroy this evil. It was good, man. MJF is money right now, man. He's money right now. This whole storyline in general, AEW was fire tonight. I had a good time with all the matches. I had a good time with all the storytelling. I thought there was a lot of character progression on all fronts. Overall, good show. I'm not gonna rate it. I'm just gonna give it a thumbs up. Love the show. I think we're actually gonna drop the rating thing. I think everybody in Busted Open Nation hates that rating thing because I've noticed I get a lot of flack when I tell people I'm like that's a 4-star match. They don't like that shit.
You're never going to get Bully on this show if you keep on saying 4-star matches. He doesn't do those things. We need Bully on.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we'll start doing thumbs up and thumbs down.
Put thumbs in the side.
Yeah, thumbs in the side or no thumbs. It gets nothing from me. My hands in my pocket like Orange Cassidy. Jay, what'd you think of the main event storytelling?
Main event was trash, just like every Jon Moxley match is trash. I'm sorry, he fights like a plumber in the Indies. It's not the Indies national TV, but he just wants to fight like he's a plumber. I get it. No blood, I can't believe it. A parody of matches happening on the outside. Once again, we see the stupid chair spot. Once again, he has to sit on a fucking chair and all of a sudden get attacked. And I'm going to face it. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm really disappointed in Penta. But first things first, please don't ever put Ray Phoenix on a microphone ever again. I don't need to hear him talk. Now, going to Penta.
Okay.
The man knows how to wrestle. What did he do in this match? Not a goddamn thing. A bunch of taunting and a bunch of chops and a chop that hit in the ring post. That was pretty much it. We see a lot of maneuvers from this guy. And tonight, we didn't see none of that. It was just basically, okay, I'm going to take a bunch of beating. I'm going to go outside, take a bunch of beating, and I'm going to hit my Death Rider, and I'm going to get the 1-2.
What was the biggest move that Penta hit? The Sling Blade, right? Was that the biggest move he hit, the Sling Blade?
Every single Moxley match. Every single Moxley match is carbon copy of every single Moxley match.
I get what everybody, look, give the man props. He's carrying the company. For God's sakes, the man was going to go on a vacation, be with his wife, be with his child. He's carrying the company after stupid incidents that should have never happened in the first place. But let's face it, every match, nobody's really drawn into it. I'm not drawn into a Moxley match. And the only thing that gets us going, guess what, is MJF, because I actually have to watch this match. Just like you three will watch it live, I'm sure, right there at Full Gear. But my whole point is, you know why I'm not going to Full Gear? Because I feel that you have to have another money match. And if I don't see Saraya versus Britt Baker on that card, which should happen to make it a money match, I don't think it's really going to sell out. That's just my opinion.
Nah, MJF winning the World Championship, possibility of it, and he's going to actually have a wrestling match. It's going to sell out.
I just feel like the buys wouldn't be over $1 million plus. You need another big match, and I think Britt Baker and Saraya would be that. It just needs to happen officially.
Well, hopefully we see more story progression with like Pac and everybody else. Gilch, you got any comments? Anything to end this shit with?
Zero investment in the match, like Thomas said. Zero predictability level, not even 99%, 100%. I mean, the only reason I watch Moxley matches is to hope that maybe he's going to lose to someone, and this was definitely
and he never does
tonight. And the only reason why towards the end of the match, my eyes were fixated was, maybe like MJF's going to cash in like last second, like a Money in the Bank kind of thing. So,
well, like Thomas mentioned, at the end of the night, when they got out of the ring, of course we had to have the last final spot, and it's Morrissey putting MJF through the table. So he took some nice bumps. That bump that he took from this guy in the ring was crazy. He was very high in the air. overall, I had a good time with AEW. How about you, Thomas? Did you enjoy AEW tonight? Was it better than some of the last weeks?
I don't think it beats anything than when it was with Regal and him in the ring.
Yeah, no, that was on another level. Yeah, even Dave LaGreca said, "Oh, it's the best thing I've seen in 41 years of my wrestling."
It was good.
You went in.
I thought the matches were all right. The women's match, Rio's got less interest than anything I can think of. I liked to start off with FTR was something I was interested in. That the FTR was my match of the night. And I guess I was kind of waiting to see if something was going to happen at the end of the main event, which it did. So that's kind of got me there. It's not my. I don't think it's going to be the winner of the week or whatever it is, and I'm least interested in watching Rampage. I'm more intrigued for when I believe Darby's coming back next week. Darby Allin next week.
Yeah, he's going to be taking on Jay Lethal on Dynamite. Yep.
On a side note, to close it off though, but I think I'm interested to see who they're bringing in or doing what with Darby Allin, because he has somebody that knows him, that knows his weaknesses. And they said, bring your guy. So
I just feel like they don't take advantage right now of the opportunity they had tonight to hype up more matches for Full Gear. We didn't get anything on Full Gear. We don't know what the fuck's going on. We have an idea vaguely with, Tony Storm, obviously that match, because that's a championship. And, of course, I believe the Acclaimed. But where are the rest of the matches? Where are the storylines?
Here's the thing, though, Savage. Think about it. You have a month and a half, almost 2 months. You have the month. I'm sorry.
Not even. It's in 3 weeks.
My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, November 19th. Okay. So, yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, it's not 3 weeks. A little more than 3 weeks. Whatever. It's coming up, though.
I think you're going to see some more things next week. Now that I had that brain fart.
Hopefully.
I think you're going to get a Ring of Honor title match. I think you're obviously going to get the Acclaimed.
Well, you're going to Full Gear, right? So who are the 3 stars that aren't on the card right now that you want to be on the card? Like, if you have to pick. You can either say matches or just, 3 stars you want to see. For me, it's fucking Miro, give me Pac, and give me, I don't know, Sammy Guevara.
Boy, that's not even mentioned at all, and I don't even know if he's clear. I want to see Adam Cole.
Okay, yeah. Hell yeah.
I want to see...
Give me some Kyle O'Reilly, baby.
You're
not a Kyle guy? You don't like Kyle?
You know what? They got rid of Fish, and Fish and
I was starting to be a Kyle O'Reilly guy. Like, his work on AEW this year was phenomenal before he got injured.
I think Red Dragon without Bobby, without Bebe is not much.
So you can't take Kyle serious as a singles competitor.
Great performer, would run circles around me in a wrestling ring, obviously, but definitely knows his moves set. But character-wise, it's all about character for me. Like, I get these guys are probably great guys in real life. I'd share a beer with them.
I'll give you that. Very little character development.
Yeah, I want Adam Cole, but Adam Cole's got to put on some muscle in my head. I'm not saying he's got to look, whatever.
That's a fair take. Protect himself too.
Yeah, but Adam Cole, I'd like to see. But assuming he's not cleared.
Give me some Kenny Omega. Please.
I want to see how those 3 guys come back. You got 3 weeks to do it though, but I don't know if you're gonna
that's how you sell it out. If you say, all right, the Bucks are back, and it's going to be Kenny Omega, the Bucks versus Death Triangle for the Trios Championship.
How about that, Jay? Buying that ticket?
No. I think it's a no-brainer that the Bucks win. And
absolutely, yeah. They got to come back and take their title. They never even fucking lost it.
I don't know.
They never even lost that title. So let me ask you this, guys. Do you think they have legitimate claim to that title right now? Because they never lost it. I think the storyline's there, but we'll see. I'd give them an instant rematch. They never lost it. They had to relinquish it because of CM Punk and Ace Steel.
I don't think they're going to touch that storyline with the Bucks when we come back. I
think the Bucks were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll see. We're going to find out what's going to happen with CM Punk and everything else. We got a lot of wrestling left this year still. We got Full Gear. You got a lot of WWE shows. You got Bray Wyatt. Who's your favorite before we end the show? I just want to know. Who's your favorite, absolute favorite wrestler of all time, male and female? And who's your favorite active wrestler in the world right now?
Back in the day, it probably would have been the Ultimate Warrior, just for the whole character of him.
Perfect choice.
Personality-wise, probably Shawn Michaels is right up there. I like what they're doing, what they're eventually going to do with Cody Rhodes. I really do. I like coming back at WrestleMania. I think he's going to eventually start slower and take the U.S. title at WrestleMania if he does come back. If not, they got to do something with splitting the belts off and putting a belt on somebody. But Roman versus The Rock, if it happens to be, which seems like it's going that way, I don't think you need a belt. I just need
that's just a match.
And but you got 2 belts, and it's like an AEW problem. You got one belt with a whole Cross is up there too. I want Cross with a belt. Cross and Scarlett are money. Like they were money in NXT, and then they dog shit that. Like Cross versus Cody Rhodes. Shit. Oh my God. Talk about heat on that one.
Yeah.
You know.
I got so many guys that I want to see have a run next year. I want to see Corbin have a run. I want to see Cody Rhodes have a run. Bray Wyatt have a run. I want to see Elias be taken seriously for fucking once. Like in 1 year, 2 years, let this guy win the Rumble and be a champion. Like Elias is great. And that another guy who's in incredible shape is Elias, man. Good God. Chad Gable's in incredible shape, like you said. One of the best athletes in the whole company. Maybe pound for pound the best athlete they have. And wrestler too. He's phenomenal, man. Like Gilch mentioned, he's pretty sure Gable could stretch out anybody in the locker room except maybe Omos and Braun, but maybe even them too. I don't know, man. Do you guys have any other final comments? Thoughts?
I do. Yes.
Go for it quickly, because after that I gotta go into barbells and body slams and make sure everybody follows the page.
I got a question for that as well, but I definitely want to go on the final thoughts here in AEW.
Go for it.
Let's face it, boys. We didn't really see a great show tonight. I didn't see a great show. I know you guys enjoyed FTR, and I enjoyed them too, but let's face it. They're part of bad booking, just like everybody else in the damn show is part of bad booking. I personally wearing this shirt because it just told you, whoever's living under a rock watching this show, basically it's just telling you that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are coming back. It's point blank. It's right there in our face. And I can't be thrilled. But let's face it. They're not money drawers, and they cannot bring people's eyeballs into watching this program. I will still say this on record. CM Punk will be number 1. And if Tony Khan wants to go this route, I just think there's a mistake. I always think there's a way to handle things, even if certain people want to act like children backstage.
Dude, the whole
whatnot.
fucking roster hates CM Punk now. The whole roster hates Punk now.
Exactly, that's my point.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Over.
My whole point
let
is,
it go, Jay.
He was the only.
That's the problem, Thomas. He can't let it go. He still
Gonna
thinks him and Tony are gonna kiss and make up. He thinks CM Punk and Tony Khan are gonna go on a mandate. They're gonna have lunch
bring asses
and they're gonna work it all out, Thomas.
I am sorry. There is no other way. I wish it could work out. It doesn't look like that because let's face it, we saw the video, and I just think you need another match in the card of Full Gear. So it can really put asses to seats. I really think we need to see Saraya. I know she's going to be in Terrace of the Green in November. So I'm really hoping she could have a really first match against Britt Baker, top star. I think it needs to happen.
That's a good take. All right. Anybody else have a final take on AEW? You good, Gilch? You good, Thomas? All right, Thomas, thank you so much for joining us here on Wrestling with Savage. We hope you had a good time. We all had a good time. Hopefully you'll be back and we can talk more fitness, more wrestling. I'm sure we all have stories and maybe even do some panels.
one thing to say.
Go for it.
Talk about the design. Did you draw that yourself, Thomas? On your shirt right there for barbells and body type. Did you draw that yourself?
I had somebody, an artist, spice it up a little bit differently.
Okay.
The original real quick is there.
Nice.
I'm a Canva guy, so that was originally kind of on there. But the concept or whatever with the guy holding the barbell and looking in shape, I kind of want to put it there. So, together.
Hey, Thomas, real quick, how much can you bench right now?
I I've never been a bench guy.
Okay.
I was 140 pounds soaking wet when I was younger. The other day, I did 235.
Damn.
For 2, and that's
Okay.
I'm 160, so 225 for 5, but 5 is I'm getting there and I'm feeling good. So
I haven't hit the bench in a long fucking time. The last time I hit the bench, I could lift 300 once, and that was it. Like, that was it. One time. Done. But leg squats, I did 1,200 pounds, 10 times. The ones where you sit, I don't know if they call it leg squat, right? You sit down like this, and then you're pushing your legs up.
Leg press.
Leg press, yeah. Fucking kill that thing. The guy at the gym was like... All right. Well, make sure you guys all go to Barbells and Body Slams. They have a YouTube channel, Instagram. You definitely want to keep up. He apparently has interviews that he hasn't uploaded yet. So there is new content coming, and I'm sure you're going to get inspired. Maybe you'll start coming to some shows with us. Because I promise you this. If you want to get some interviews with wrestlers, you want to talk to them before I do. So you go... butter them up, do your interview, because I'm going to go and I'm going to cut a fucking promo on them. I don't want to, rile them up for you. You want to talk to them when they're nice and calm.
We'll be the new wingmen.
Hey, man, if you want to get good content, you just follow this guy. I am primetime entertainment, especially you put a fucking drink in my hand. Make 2. Just don't give me more than 2 drinks, okay? You give me more than 2 drinks, I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can't guarantee, but that's why I don't drink. Jay knows me a long time. Jay, when do I drink? When it's free or if I'm at a wedding? That's it.
Yeah,
I don't drink.
Very, very occasional.
So as long as you don't give me more than 2 drinks, we're going to have a good fucking time and we're not going to go to jail. You give me more than 2, I don't know. But again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a good time. Everybody, this is Wrestling with Savage. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and make sure you join the Discord channel. Hit up the Discord channel. You can get into the chat room with us. You can get into the voice channel. Not this voice channel, because this is the broadcast channel. But you can get into your own fucking channel, and maybe I'll hop in one night, talk some shit with you. We'll talk some wrestling. Everybody have a good night. God bless, and take care.
And I just want to say, you are listening to Wrestling with Savage, the best podcast in the history of podcasts. Max Caster, your future AEW champion. Fucking man. Yeah.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud say you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.